If you click this video to hear about a celebrity's scandal, thanks for stopping by, but the topic has changed. Now the topic is Hear a Story and Save a Life. This is about a concern I have about the unheard stories of suicide victims. I had to use a sensational topic to grab your attention. If you are planning to leave, wait a moment. You're not here by chance or by choice. You are meant to be here because you have a duty of care. The World Health Organization estimates that each year approximately 1 million people die from suicide, which represents a global mortality rate of 16 people per 100,000 or one death every 40 seconds. It is predicted that by 2020, the rate of death will increase to 1 every 20 seconds. Suicide means not only a tragic loss for a life, but also great sadness and soul searching by their loved ones as to why the victim decided to take their life, and regrets and guilt about how they failed to save a life. A couple of months back, one of my clients came to me to get help to overcome the grief of a friend's death, a suicide case. My client was devastated and she said, "I was the last person my friend spoke to, but she did not tell me anything." And I asked my client, "Is that true? Which suicide victim calls to tell you before committing an act of suicide?" They leave subtle clues and warning signs. Perhaps that call you got, or a body language that went unnoticed, was enough for you to be alerted that something was not just right. They communicate in an attempt to see if they can be talked out of the suicidal thoughts. The best way to prevent suicide is to recognize these warning signs, take them seriously, and act upon them. And a suicide act is not just, something at random. It happens after a lot of contemplation and thoughts. However, the action is impulsive. Suicide victims are constantly leaving clues and signs to people around them. Maybe they shared a song. Pay attention to the lyrics. Maybe a quote. Pay attention to the words. Pay attention to what they are communicating, both the said and unsaid words. And it is the strong ones that you need to be more vigilant about, because they hide and mask their feelings, because they are the strong ones and they are afraid to be judged. They're afraid of judgments and rejections. But they too very occasionally and rarely will let their guard down and communicate their feelings. They will gently and casually open up. Pay attention to what they are communicating. Listen to understand and not to respond. And most importantly, do not make it about yourself. When the person is sharing their feelings with you, do not say that, "I know exactly how you feel. I have also felt like that before." Or, "I thought of you the other day and I was profusely crying thinking about your situation." Stop doing that. It is not about you. Do not generalize their situation. Each person's circumstance, feelings and emotions and experiences are totally different. Do not make up their story. Ask them questions, not judgmental questions like, "Why do you feel that way?" or "What's your problem?" Don't get curious. Ask them probing yet gentle questions with compassion like, "Tell me more. What's going on for you? How can I help? How can we turn this around?" Unfortunately, people are too busy and preoccupied with their own lives. They just don't have time or the patience to pay attention and care for someone who is on the verge of committing an act of suicide. What suicide victims are seeking for is a channel to let out their emotions. They want to authentically connect and have a meaningful conversation with someone who will empathize, show compassion, and give hope. Instead of asking people, "How are you?" ask them, "Are you okay?" Both are 3 words, but you'll be surprised to see the difference in response. With "How are you?" most likely the reply would be, "I'm fine, not too bad, I'm good." But when you ask, "Are you okay?" they would just open up and start flushing out their worries. There are a lot of debates around suicide. Is suicide a selfish or cowardly act? Is it a choice? Telling a suicidal person that they are being selfish or cowardly could even make them feel much more worse. You see, it takes more willpower and courage to take one's own life as compared to the willpower and courage to live. People commit suicide not because they want to die, but because they want to stop the pain. And you have the power to stop that event from happening. A lot of us care, but not just enough. And that presents us with an opportunity to reorganize our priorities and to hear the story of someone in pain. Hope you will join hands with me to hear a story and save a life. Have a blissful day.